So I've always been an Xbox gamer, but oddly enough, I've missed out on a lot of Xbox exclusive games. So I wanted to make this show where I could elaborate and give my thoughts on these Xbox exclusive games that are enhanced on the Xbox One X. So I'm experiencing these games for the first time on the best Xbox hardware that's out there, so I thought it would be cool to go over what I like and don't like about the game with my 2018 goggles on. How does the game hold up? How good of a job did they do enhancing it on Xbox One X? These are the questions that a lot of people might be asking, and these are the answers I'm going to attempt to give you. So oddly enough, I had never dived too deep into the Gears of War franchise until back when Gears 4 released. In preparation for Gears 4, I played Gears 1 remastered on Xbox One. I completely loved that game. It got me super hyped for the fourth one. Played the fourth one, loved it. So unfortunately, I can't do those games. But if you read the title, then you already know that the game I'm going to be talking about in my first episode of Experiencing Xbox is Gears of War 3. Let's jump in. So before I say anything, I have to talk about how good this game looks on Xbox One X. Gears of War 3 does not look like a 360 game anymore on the X. I was so surprised that this was a 360 game, and I don't really understand how any of this works. I think there's some type of emulation process that they're using on the Xbox One X. They're emulating these 360 games, but they're somehow enhancing them at the same time. A lot of them look super good, and I can't wait to get to them, but Gears of War 3 is seriously jaw-dropping. I've talked about this previously as well, but it's this weird half-step between consoles. It doesn't look like a 360 game, but it doesn't look like a full-blown Xbox One X Gears of War 4 type game either. It looks like a super lush Xbox 360 game that is up-resed, looking great. I don't know what the frames per second are, but it looks like it's running at 60 frames per second. Probably isn't. I don't honestly know. I just know that the game is breathtaking, and I actually couldn't stop taking pictures throughout my journey, so I'm going to add in some of my favorite screenshots right here that I took of the game. So if you're looking here, you can see how awesome it looks. Unfortunately, you can't see one of my favorite parts where the grass is blowing in the wind and it looks super fantastic. I'll put that image up right now, and I'll try to find some gameplay that's showing off what this looks like. But I was so impressed with how this game looks. Seriously, if you have an Xbox One X and you haven't played Gears of War 3, it's a must-play game on the X. I know it's a 360 game, but it's one of the best It doesn't feel like a 360 game. It feels like you're playing an Xbox One game, and it's really awesome. So I'm going full spoilers. Just be warned, I'm going full spoilers with Gears of War 2 and 3. So coming off Gears of War 2, there was a lot of emotional moments with a character in the game named Dom. You're looking for his wife, and she ends up dying, and it's a super sad scene. I had heard about this being a sad part of the game, and I honestly went into it expecting it to be a little sadder, but it was well done. I didn't think it was acted super well. I'm not going to give it a glowing award because the voice actor's performance wasn't really on par with what we're getting in 2018, but I was still really into it. It was gripping, emotional, and a tear might have gone down my cheek. Tear didn't really go down my cheek, but I wish it had because I actually like crying during video games. But when it comes to the story in Gears 2, I was intrigued the entire time. Now Gears 3, on the other hand, I had heard that this was the better story, the better game overall, and I was a little let down with it. I think it has some amazing settings and some awesome moments, some awesome fights, and it might be even with 2 in my opinion, but I don't think it's as good as Gears of War 1 Remastered or Gears 4. And I'm just talking about overall. The stuff I care about the most would be the story, the characters, the setting, the set pieces, and of course the gameplay. The gameplay is largely similar throughout every single Gears of War game. That's the one thing that honestly I was hoping they'd mix up a little bit more. They do throw different enemies at you throughout the games, but unfortunately, in my opinion, it all feels kind of samey, which I know that might get a lot of hate, but I'm just giving my raw, complete feelings on this. And Gears of War 3 honestly felt a lot like Gears of War 2. I didn't really feel a defining jump in the series. Like some people would say Uncharted 2 was a huge jump from Uncharted 1. I believe that. When it comes to Gears of War 2 to Gears of War 3, it's not that big of a jump in my opinion. Except for this case, of course, the graphics, because obviously the third one is enhanced on X. But anyway, there's also some really emotional parts in Gears 3. Of course, Dom, the character I spoke of from Gears 2, he ends up going on a suicide run. He ends up killing himself to save everyone in the group. That was really sad, especially since I had recently gotten to know him from Gears 1 and 2. So it was all that much more sad because it was all still fresh in my brain. And I was actually really sad to see him go. And I just also think that was a really character-defining moment for Marcus Phoenix. He saw one of his best friends die. Super emotional. And as you see in Gears 4, these events, I'm sure, turn him into this introvert who doesn't want to see anybody. He's kind of like a grizzly old man. He doesn't want to talk or do anything. But obviously, that's an awesome part of Gears 4 when he goes into action. But anyway, back to Gears 3. I thought that was a really character-defining moment for Marcus Phoenix, and it was great that we actually got to see him be emotional for once and not Dom like it was in Gears 2. And that wasn't the last time either, as you know, at the end of the game, Marcus's dad dies, and right there, it's also just super sad. Like, you really feel for him in this game, which I love. And the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm actually starting to think that Gears 3 might have had the better story than Gears 2. But anyway, I'm the type of guy who just flip-flops back and forth. So either way, I love the story of all the games so far. I've never really been a huge fan of Marcus Phoenix, but as I played more, he grew on me a bit. Just didn't really like his voice and his attitude. I don't know, but I really liked his son in Gears 4, and I liked their relationship, their dynamic. But when it comes to the game overall, I love this game. I love this series. I'm glad that I got to experience Gears 3 on Xbox One X. In my opinion, the game didn't really mix up the gameplay enough. I thought that Gears 1 and 2 did that a bit better. This one, it just seems like most of the time you're just doing the normal cover-based third-person shooting, which, don't get me wrong, is my favorite thing. Literally my favorite type of gameplay is third-person cover-based shooting. So I'm not like knocking the game or anything. I just felt like there could have been a little bit better pacing and whatnot. I seriously can't recommend it enough. The graphics, resolution, it all looks so good on the Xbox One X. And that's all I really got to say. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you want to go over anything else. I would love to keep doing this show. There's a bunch of other Xbox One X games, Xbox exclusive games, and Windows PC or PC as well, but mainly Xbox exclusives that I want to go over. I would love to play The Witcher 2 for the first time on Xbox One X. Let me know if you want an episode on that, or Forza Horizon. I never played the original. So yeah, Experiencing Xbox, a new little opinion talk show I want to start doing. I mainly want to talk to you guys down in the comment section below though, so be sure to give me your thoughts on Gears 3, Gears 1, Gears 2, all of them. I just want to talk to you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I will talk to you guys later.